would you try bringing, and what are the impediments? What are the challenges doing that here in the U.S. against a Swiss entity?
Well, there's a whole host of criminal charges that you could bring depending on what kind of evidence you have, from aiding and abetting tax evasion to conspiracy to fraud. I mean, there's a whole host. You'd have to just sit and try to go through what your best alternatives would be. But there's a number of provisions in both the tax code and the criminal code that could be used.
And what were the charges, criminal charges brought against UBS? I'm pretty new to this issue.
I wasn't here during that time. It ended up being a deferred prosecution agreement. I defer to Ms. Keneally as to the details of what were the topic of that deferred prosecution agreement.
I also wasn't here at the time, but I understand it was conspiracy to evade taxes in the United States.
Okay. In the morning hearing, what I was trying to establish was kind of the obvious in terms of, why does Switzerland have this very huge banking sector, and is there value there? I mean, is it nice to have some place where people can diversify where they hold their money? I'm not necessarily opposed to that, but obviously totally opposed, as we all are, to tax evasion. My guess is the reason the Swiss government is so utterly opposed to any kind of transparency is they don't want to destroy that safe haven for other countries. So is there some way of preserving that safe haven in Switzerland for other countries and still allow the U.S. to get the type of information we want, so there's no tax fraud being?
This is what we're trying to discuss with the Swiss. Chairman Levin mentioned the 2009 treaty, which is very different in many respects. It's not perfect. It's not going to be a panacea that's going to solve every problem. It's going to be another tool.
Let me stop right there. Talk to me about the holes in it, because Senator Levin's certainly been talking about that. I mean, what is the primary problem with that treaty?
Senator Levin has described what he views as a number of the holes. I think there's no treaty that is perfect, and we just look for as many tools as we can find in order to use them all, because we need to come at this problem from a number of different angles. There's no